Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call the October 19th, 2020 Crest Hill City Council meeting to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and I would ask that everyone please remain standing after the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Unfortunately, the city of Crest Hill lost a very well-known and a fantastic resident in the last 10 days. Anna Mae Lukancic passed away after a courageous, long battle with some health concerns. Anna Mae also sang for 30 straight years at our Memorial Day ceremony to honor our lost veterans and our slain police officers. Due to health reasons, the last 2 years she was unable to sing, but through the marvels of technology, Ron Romero out of our cable broadcast group was able to select some of her songs from the past and play it in her presence when she attended, however she couldn't sing live and in person. So we certainly want to offer our condolences to her husband John, her daughter Kathy, and her son Tom on the loss of their mother. We want to thank her for the years of service to the city of Crest Hill. And I ask that you keep her in your prayers. I would also ask for a moment of silence in the memory of Anna Mae Lukancic. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ray Solomon.
Here.
Glenn Conklin.
Present.
Scott Dyke.
Here.
John Verche.
Here.
Claudia Gazal.
Here.
Barbara Scalera.
Here.
Tina Oberlin.
Present.
Marco Colli-Petro.
Here.
Nate Albert.
Here.
Joe Kubal.
Here. Okay, you have before you the minutes of the October 5th Crest Hill City Council meeting. Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Scalera, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for the approval of the minutes of the October 5th Crest Hill City Council meeting. Questions or comments?
Yes, on the second page, under Economic Development Department, it starts on 195. It says Alderman Dyke asked for an update. It should be Alderman Verche asked for that update.
Okay, to the motioner with that correction.
Yes.
That's page 2, Scott?
Pardon?
You said page 2?
Yeah, the second page.
Okay.
Under Economic Development, where it starts off with my name, it should be Alderman Verche.
Okay. Thank you. Apologize.
To the motioner. Barb?
Yes.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Marco Colli-Petro.
Abstain.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Barbara Scalera.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, you also have before you the minutes of the October 12th, 2020 Crest Hill work session. Motion will be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Colli-Petro, seconded by Alderwoman Scalera for the approval of the work session held on October 12th, 2020. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche. Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Barbara Scalera.
Yes.
Marco Colli-Petro.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, as part of our business promotion this evening, we have Mr. Lawrence George here from the Family Outreach Program. He asked if he could say a couple of words in regards to the food pantry. Lawrence?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all here. The City Council, thank you for having me here. A sobering note to start out with, not necessarily to say anything solemn, but we do regret that one of our dear volunteers passed away with COVID within the last month. And so we're sorry that happened. He worked with us for the past 2 or 3 years as a volunteer, contributed his money from Walmart work that he had been to, and just passed away, I believe, about 2 weeks ago in the city of Joliet. His name is John Belowski. So I just want to honor him, rest upon his soul. And now also, I wanted to thank the city of Crest Hill for all you have done to allow us with our fundraisers for the food pantry. It has been going really well and has allowed us to continue to keep the food pantry supported in the buying of food. We actually have to buy a lot of the food that we get from the food bank. It's sold to us at a lesser price, but the funding that we received allowed us to do that. The numbers of people did increase due to COVID. So one of the problems that we have is that although the volunteers have decreased, we have seen an increase of clients coming to our food pantry back there. So because of that, we made an appeal, and we're hoping that grants will come through because of that. But again, we wanted to thank the city of Crest Hill for all you've done to help us with our fundraisers, without which we would not have been able to support the pantry. And some of the other donors that have helped have been a big help. Other thing that we wanted to mention is that I believe tomorrow or within the week, Caroline Lakes is going to be offering some of their volunteers from the elderly group there, and they are going to put together boxes of food, which we're going to pick up, and also in the near future for Thanksgiving, we hope that Sean Hillman will again bring turkeys. So we're preparing for that even as I speak. We got volunteers working all day, managing the trucks and doing the pickups, going all the way as far away as Arlington Heights. We do want to put a pitch. The last truck that we have, which is actually as old as 2002, is on its last leg. So if anybody knows of a box truck they would like to donate, feel free to let us know, and we may be able to hopefully obtain that for our work. We're having to use all 3 trucks for the work that we're doing. And also a new thing that's happening, 2 new things that are happening, I don't want to take much of your time, is that we are getting non-food product, which we are going to be giving out along with food product. So we'll need more volunteers to give that out. And also some of the other new stores that are giving to us through the food bank is something that we can give out to people that can't cook their food, such as sandwiches from Starbucks, people that live in hotels that want to come to our food pantry. We can give them a whole bag of freshly made sandwiches from Starbucks. So we're very glad to be able to have that. Aside from that, I do want to put a pitch for volunteers, and that's one of the reasons why we're here, because we're so short right now that each person on a Thursday morning is having to do twice as much work. And when it comes to all that is going on right now with COVID, we're trying to be as careful as we possibly can. So that's the pitch that we have. We wanted to, again, thank everybody for what you've done with your support for us. And again, we're not, we have told the food bank that we're going to keep on going strong. We're not going to quit. What we're doing has been a sample to all the other food pantries in the area as far as a drive-through food pantry, because many of the food pantries can't operate unless they do a system like that. So we've been able to be a pioneer for that service. And the rest of the people that are volunteers that couldn't come with me here today, salute you too. So thank you so much.
And thank you for everything that you do in the group at the food pantry. Again, the collection is during the week, and then the pass out of the food is on Thursday morning from 7 to 9 p.m. behind the Hillcrest Shopping Center. And there are probably well over 200 vehicles that pass through now.
That's
I would
right.
assume with COVID and everything else.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people that are struggling. So thank you for everything that you do for the less fortunate in the Crest Hill area and the surrounding communities, because I know there's a lot of people from the surrounding communities that come to the food pantry on a weekly basis.
Thank you. One last point is that our hotline, we stopped our hotline, the 866 number, AT&T decided to stop doing 866, which we used. So on the side of our truck, it may say 866-730-9567. Now it's just simply 815-730-9567. That's our official telephone number. So just to let you know, as long as it's going out to everybody, 815-730-9567. Email cityoutreach@aol.com. Website familyoutreachprogram.org. And thank you again.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? from
Larry,
council?
thank you. You know, I've worked with you since you started, and I've now gotten my son into that same mindset. I'm so happy that he does.
Thank you. Thank you so much for him. That was really a very big help. Thank you.
And I hope you get more donations from my employer this week. I
good.
told everybody if they needed somewhere to send the money, send it to you.
Well, good. Thank you so much.
So
We
thanks for everything you
appreciate
do,
that.
though.
You too. Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Larry. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay, moving back to the agenda, there is a need for a public hearing on the East Water Reclamation Facility Project Plan. I would ask for a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved, as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Oberlin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for a public hearing at 7:12 PM. Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
Marco Colity Petro.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we are in a public hearing at 7:12 PM, and the reason is for the East Water Reclamation Facility Project Plan. Just a comment from the mayor first. The city is required to meet new phosphorus limits for the East Treatment Plant as required by the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. The plan was developed in accordance with the IEPA guidelines to allow the city to apply for a lost interest loan from the Water Pollution Control Loan Program for the required improvements. Prior to approval, the city must allow the public an opportunity to comment on whether the project should be precluded from the formal environmental review process. With that, I will ask if anyone would like to speak in regard to commenting on whether the project should be precluded from the formal environmental review process. You need to step to the podium, state your name for the record, and your address is optional. Second request, if anyone would like to make comment from the public and an opportunity to comment on whether the project should be precluded from the formal environmental review process, please step to the podium, state your name for the record, your address is optional. And a third request, if anyone would like to comment from the public on the opportunity on whether the project should be precluded from the formal environmental review process, please step to the podium, state your name for the record, your address is optional. Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Oberlin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal, to close the public hearing at 7:14 PM. Roll call, please.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
Marco Colity Petro.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we are back in regular session at 7:14 and resuming the agenda to our city administrator, Heather McGuire. Good evening, Heather.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 3 agenda items for consideration this evening. The first is an ordinance amending Title II of the City of Crest Hill Code of Ordinances, creating the position of city engineer. As discussed at the October 12th work session, we will have a formal appointment later in the agenda this evening, but first we need to actually formally create the position of city engineer, so you do have that ordinance before you.
Motion would be in order.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Kubal, seconded by Alderman Colity Pietro, for an ordinance amending Title II of the City of Crest Hill Code of Ordinances, creating the position of city engineer. And again, this was discussed last week at the work session also. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Marco Colity Petro.
Yes.
And Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance number is 1849.
Thank you. And the next two items both have to do with our new bonds that were issued last year now on the City Hall, on the new City Center, as well as the refunding of our Build America bonds. The first is an ordinance abating the tax heretofore levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation refunding bonds. That's for the waterworks and sewerage system, alternate revenue source series 2019A of the city of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois. And again, that was the refunding of our Build America bonds. As a reminder, all of our bonds are double-barreled bonds, so when we have sufficient revenues pledged and available to pay the payments for those, we need to abate the taxes on those. So that is what we're doing with these next two ordinances, because we have sufficient funds in our general fund non-home rule sales tax dedicated to pay those.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Scler, seconded by Alderman Dyke, for an ordinance abating the tax levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation refunding bonds, the waterworks and sewerage system alternate revenue source series 2019A of the city of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Nate Albert?
Yes.
Marco Colo DePietro?
Yes.
Tina Oberlin?
Yes.
Claudia Gazal?
Yes.
John Verche?
Yes.
Joe Kubal?
Yes.
Excuse me, Scott Dyke?
Yes.
Barbara Scoler?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance number is 1850.
Thank you. And the next one, similarly titled, is for the bonds related to the City Center project. It is an ordinance abating the tax heretofore levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation bonds, sales of tax alternate revenue source series 2019B of the city of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Colo DePietro, seconded by Alderman Dyke, for an ordinance abating the tax levied for the year 2020 to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, Series 2019B of the city of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Tina Oberlin?
Yes.
Claudia Gazal?
Yes.
Barbara Scoler?
Yes.
John Verche?
Yes.
Joe Kubal?
Yes.
Nate Albert?
Yes.
Scott Dyke?
Yes.
Marco Colo DePietro?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance number is 1851.
Thank you. That was the final item I had for approval this evening. The report is on file. Next week, we will be holding a work session. Current topics include presentation of this year's audit, with additional topics still being finalized, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of city administrator?
Yes, I have requested on September 8th, work session for economic development. What is the holdup? You told me 2 weeks ago it was going to be on this coming agenda.
Yes, Alderwoman, I spoke with you last week and told you last week was that work session, which is when Scott McMaster was present to discuss all economic development topics. At that time, it was open for any questions that you had beyond a specific topic. I'm not sure what exactly you wanted to put on the work session. We had several economic development-related topics on that work session.
That wasn't what I asked for.
If you can clarify what exactly you're looking for, I'm happy to add that.
Well,
but
you
I-
might want to go listen to the tape or read the minutes. I asked clearly, I want to know what is the goals, what we're working on. That was what I've asked for.
I'm happy to add whatever you would like, but I didn't understand that clarification when you said it. If there are specific things that you would like me to add, or you're talking goals of the city for economic development is what you
Yeah,
want?
what he's working on, what's not working, maybe we need, I think I was clear at that meeting, wasn't it?
I did not get that from that meeting and from
Yeah,
what
I
you said.
know.
I'm happy to add whatever you would like. That's just not what I understood that to be.
Sure, I'll give you a call.
Sure.
Anybody else? Questions?
Yeah, the vacant property on 1916 Center Street and 1724 Broadway, or it's 1722, there's no address on it. The place across the street has an address of 1723. Just wondering where we're at with those properties, what in the process?
Yes, as I stated in my email earlier, as far as 1722 Broadway, that is, it's a vacant property. There are no violations in the system, so I'm not sure if there's something beyond that or there's a
Well, it's
different
boarded up,
address.
it was, caught fire and it's been empty. Are we gonna let it sit like that?
Well, the
Indefinitely?
1722 Broadway is a vacant lot, so it must be a different
And it
address
has to be
then.
1724 then?
1724, and I'm.
Like I said, it's across the street from
Bless you.
1723 Broadway. So, and I had mentioned that it's either 1724, 1722, somewhere like that, because there's no address on it to say that it's such an address.
Yep, I will check into that one, and then you said as far as 1916 Center Street, They were issued citations for several violations. The last was done on 9/21 and sent to collections. We are asking, working to get in contact with the bank because it's my understanding that this is a foreclosed property to see if they can take further action on the property.
All right, I just don't want it to get forgotten about and let it hang there and just keep going and going and nothing being done. Just
It is
wanna
in the
make
system
sure
and it's
that,
being
you know.
processed.
All right,
Okay, thanks, Heather. Moving on, Public Works Department, our interim Public Works Director, Mark Seifert. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no formal agenda items. The only two things I did want to mention, number one, concrete, curb, and sidewalk. Davis Concrete is out cutting curb and sidewalk this week. They should start pulling the old concrete late this week, early next week, and then pouring of concrete to follow. The other item is if you've driven down Gaylord, you've noticed that the light blue primer has started to go up on the water tower. With that light blue primer going up, they will get the dark blue top coat on this fall. Once they went to the primer, they're going to get the dark blue on. That's part of their process. So they have 10 days to get it on. So they're fighting the weather and fighting the wind every day. But other than that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Public Works? Thanks, Mark. Moving on, Community Development Department, our Community Development Director, Scott McMaster. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no agenda items, but I do want to mention that there's some buzz going around on social media about a couple of new businesses coming to Crest Hill. One is an Italian deli and import store. We are working with that business. Actually, they came in last week to meet with Ray about a liquor license as well. Another one's a yoga studio on Plainfield Road, and then another one is a Middle Eastern restaurant that we're hoping to get into 2424 Plainfield. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Questions of Community Development?
Actually, the Italian thing, it's on the patch today, so.
I'm sorry?
The Italian, that Russo Italian Deli, it's
Yes.
in the patch today.
Yeah,
It's a big
they're,
article about it,
yeah, we're excited about that one. I think that's gonna be a good one.
yeah.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Next, the Police Department, our Police Chief, Ed Clark. Good evening, Ed.
Evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have any formal items on the agenda this evening. You do have your 2-week packet in your mail for the week. A couple things I want to add. The incident we had last week on Wednesday, just wanted to let council know the investigation's making some really good progress. I hope to have some good announcements, hopefully by the end of the week for everybody. So it's progressing very nicely. Second thing is I'm going to be meeting with the manager of the complex this week, and we're going to sit down and talk over some issues that they're having. So hopefully we can work through it and improve that area. So that's all I had.
Ed, were you there that night?
I was not.
Well, who was in charge that night there?
That was, it was Deputy Chief Rossetti, and then it was Sergeant Jason Opiola.
Okay.
Any other
Okay.
questions of Police Chief?
Yes, I have sent you this ordinance 1607. Did you look into it?
Yes, I will be looking into that. That was adopted back in 2014. That's one thing I want to discuss with the city administrators.
Because at this point, I think we should be enforcing, there's a reason why we have this ordinance. So if you want to look into that, we have something right now that we can go to them and say, either stop them or,
Absolutely.
okay. Thank you.
Tomorrow,
Yep,
WJOL.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ed. All right, moving on to the mayor's report. I have 3 agenda items this evening. The first one is the appointment of a city engineer. Just to give you a little background, we did have the applicant with us last week at the work session, and council was able to ask any questions that they wished of Ron. Some other background information before I get into everything is that this has actually been about almost a 1-year process, and there were several hurdles and there were several interruptions in the process, and I'd like to explain some of those. But the position for a city engineer was discussed at the city council level and was also posted in the fall of 2019. And we were receiving applications at that point in time, and then our city administrator had to take maternity leave. So we put the position of city engineer on hold. When the city administrator came back in February, we started to contact some of the applicants for a first round of interviews. However, the week that was set up for that was the week that we hit the COVID quarantine and city halls were closed, and so we had to put everything on hold. And we put everything on hold until July, actually, when City Hall reopened with staff opening up to the general public. At that time, because of the time lapse due to all the interruptions from the process, we reposted the job position, and we received, again, many applications. We received at that point in time 19 applications and resumes for the position. In August, 7 of those 19 were interviewed for the first round of interviews by Heather McGuire, Megan Falera, and Nick. The next round of interviews were the second round of interviews, and 3 were presented to myself and to Heather for the second round of interviews. I will say that all 3 were very qualified. However, one individual stuck out very, very far in front of the other individuals. I bring before you tonight a gentleman by the name of Ron Wiedemann. Ron has a wealth of experience in a very specialized and technical field. He has 20 years of experience in the engineering world. He has 16 years with Robinson Engineering, and he has 13 years prior to that with IDOT. He has managed the Indiana office for 16 years, which involved several communities. And I will tell you, he built the Indiana office for the engineering firm from the ground up. As you can see, City Council has in their packets a copy of his resume. He has a very impressive resume. He is a well-educated, well-spoken individual. He has a very strong work ethic. He has also showed me a passion for this job, that he wanted this position very badly. And again, what he did in Indiana by building it from the ground up is exactly what the city of Crest Hill is looking for with a first-time city engineer position in this city. With the hiring of Mr. Wiedemann this evening, I believe that the city of Crest Hill will be able to do a lot of the projects in-house that we would have to farm out in the past, thus saving this city a wealth of savings over the years and over the jobs that can be done in-house by Mr. Wiedemann. With that, we extended an offer to Mr. Wiedemann for $106,500 per year, and with 3 weeks of vacation, just as any other new appointed official by the mayor would receive in regards to working for the city of Crest Hill. And then all other required benefits that are offered to those same individuals will be offered to Mr. Wiedemann also. Again, I believe that he will be a tremendous asset to the city of Crest Hill with the wealth of knowledge and the types of jobs that he has worked with in the past. And again, he will build this position of city engineer from the ground up in the city. And with his experience, I believe he will be a tremendous asset to our city. With that, I would ask for a motion for the approval to hire Mr. Ron Wiedemann as the city's first engineer.
So moved, Mayor. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Verche, seconded by Alderman Albert. Questions or comments in regards to the motion on the appointment of Ron Wiedemann as city engineer? Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Marco Colodi Petro.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations, Ron. Welcome to the city of Crest Hill. If you'd like to join at the podium, and if you'd like to make any comments to the city of Crest Hill, you certainly may.
Just something really quick, Mayor. I first want to thank all of you for your support. Mayor, I'd like to thank you for your time and your consideration. And I look forward to working with everybody here today, including the residents of the city of Crest Hill. That's it.
Well, thank you, and congrats to your wife also.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We look forward to a very long relationship here. And again, we're expecting a lot of things from you, which I know you can produce that with your experience that you have.
Thank you,
So
Mayor.
welcome to the city of Crest Hill.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. If you want to go home and watch the football game, you can. You certainly don't have to stay, but you're more than welcome to if you'd like to.
Let's take it out.
All right. All right. Next on the agenda is the Police Pension Board appointment, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Roger Kremp. Roger was with us last week also. This is for the replacement of Mr. Phil DeChera, who served for 8 years on the Police Pension Board. However, Phil tendered his resignation for health reasons effective May 1st. So it took a little time to find somebody. I certainly wanted to find somebody that had some financial background on the Police Pension Board with all of the turmoils in the state of Illinois with the new laws and everything else in regards to pension reform on the state level. So I will tell you that Mr. Kremp, which City Council does have a copy of his application and his resume in their packet. He has 50 years plus experience in the financial field. He has experience in accounting, in finance, and in the management field. He is a Caroline Lakes resident. He is still employed on the board of directors for Kozel Brothers. I feel that he is more than qualified to serve in this capacity on the Police Pension Board. Again, Mr. Kremp is a very educated, very well-spoken individual. He has a very calm demeanor. He's very confident in his thoughts. I would ask for the approval of Mr. Roger Kremp as a member of the Crest Hill Police Pension Board, which the mayor has 2 appointees, effective immediately. And the term is a 2-year term which will expire on April 30th, 2022.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderman Cola DiPietro for the approval of the appointment of Mr. Roger Kremp to the Police Pension Board of the City of Crest Hill. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Barbara Scolar,
Yes.
Marco Cola DePietro,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that. The third one is an ordinance amending Title V, the Business and Licenses and Regulations of Chapter 5-08, the alcoholic beverages of the City of Crest Hill Code to create a new liquor license classification for video gaming cafes. This was brought to the attention of the mayor by Alderwoman Gazal, Alderwoman Sclair, and Alderman Albert. We did have a couple of work sessions in regards to this. Basically, in the past, the bistros that I will call, that is the video gaming bistros, were classified under the restaurant license in the city of Crest Hill. The thought from the 3 aldermen and women was to reclassify that to a new class, which would be a Class K for a bistro, and also spoken about at those work sessions was limiting the number of bistros in the city of Crest Hill. We currently have 7 bistros in the city of Crest Hill, so that is the number that was chosen, and the cost will remain the same as a restaurant license of $1,200. You have before you a copy of the ordinance amending for the creation of the new liquor class and limiting the number of video gaming cafes in the city of Crest Hill. Motion would be in order.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal, for an ordinance amending Title V, the Business Licenses and Regulations, Chapter 5.08, the alcoholic beverages of the Crest Hill City Code to create a new liquor license classification for video gaming cafes. Any questions or comments that would like to be made prior to the vote?
Yeah, Mayor, just one comment.
Sure.
I'm happy to see this in front of us tonight, and it just kind of puts it more in consistency with the tavern liquor license, the Class A liquor license, where we would have to kind of evaluate, and the applicant would have to come to city council before moving forward. same thing will be, the case with the bistro, so happy to see it going this direction. Thank you.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes, I also wanted to mention that Alderman Dyke was part of that as well.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Marco Polo DePietro,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance number is 1852.
Okay. Thank you for that. A couple comments from the mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that came out last Tuesday for the cleanup of the Veterans and Police Memorial Garden outside. That was the winter cleanup where we cut down all the daylilies, we put the pots away, general cleanup of the area just to preserve it for the winter time with the winter probably less than a couple months from us. I certainly, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank the following volunteers that came and gave of their time. Our treasurer, Glenn Conklin, Alderman Nate Albert, Bill Gallagher, Nick Parks, Phyllis Powell, Marge Keller, Guy Walters, Joe Gilligan, Nick Falzarino, Karen Kirk, and Vicki Solomon. So thank you to all of them. With that amount of volunteers, we were able to get it accomplished within 2 hours. And again, this was to preserve it for the winter time. Hopefully we can have a ceremony next May with all the things that are going on in the world. But thanks again to all the volunteers that help. The next thing I would like to make comment on is Halloween. Again, Halloween hours in the city of Crest Hill is going to be from 3 to 7. This is on a strictly participation aspect, so if you would like to pass out the candy, please put your porch light on. If you choose not to pass out candy, leave them off. And to the parents, we're leaving the choice up to you. If you would like to have your children go out and trick or treat, you can certainly do that. And if you wish to keep them home, that would be your choice also. The next thing I would like to talk about is, let's go back to Halloween. Just everybody, please wear your masks. Everybody social distance. And have a good time, because I know that a lot of things have been taken away from families and everything else over the last 8 months. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the census. Unfortunately, we thought the census was going to go through October 30th. However, the judicial system ended it on October 15th through the entire country. So with that, thanks to everybody at the Spanish Center, who the city of Crest Hill partnered with, Megan Falera, for all the meetings that she attended in regards to that, also on the census. I think that the city of Crest Hill is above last year's or 2010's count in regards to the census. So as soon as we get those numbers back, we'll certainly share them with everyone. And speaking about the COVID, everybody's well aware that the Public Works building down on Oakland Avenue has been operating since around the end of July, early August. Everything is moved in there. Everything fits inside there. It's a tremendously well put together building, something that the city of Crest Hill should be proud of for the next 40, 50 years to come. The intention always was to open and have a grand opening in May. However, when we were on quarantine in March, April, and May, the project was pushed a little bit behind, and therefore 2 months later is when the building was starting to be moved in. With that, we thought that we were going to be doing better with the COVID, and that we certainly wanted to have a grand opening and a public showing for any residents that would like to come down. We wanted to do a grand opening there. However, with everything that's going on, we brought it to City Council. We had discussion on it. The entire City Council was unanimous in seeing that this is not a good time to have a grand opening on a new building. It's certainly not safe to any of our residents to put them in that situation. It's certainly not safe to our employees to have everybody inside that building and have a couple hundred people be walking through there. So with that, I apologize, but due to the safety and the health concerns of everyone, we are going to put this on hold. Hopefully, within the next 6 months, we will get back to a semi-normal, maybe with a vaccine. And maybe next May, during Public Works Week, I believe that's the last week in May, maybe we might be able to have a grand opening and an open house in May. That is the goal. Again, I'm sure everybody's aware that the numbers are rising in Will County. I'm fearful of what's going to be coming down from the governor in the next couple of days. But we'll certainly have to wait and see what those announcements are. But in the meantime, I would ask as the mayor that everyone please observe the social distancing. Please wear your masks. It does help. We certainly don't want to overload the local hospitals in regards to this, which would not be good for people that do get the virus. So please, I'm asking for your cooperation to wear the mask, social distance, wash your hands, do everything that the doctors say to you, because it's not only in Will County, it's throughout the entire state, it's throughout the entire country and the entire world, this virus. So it's very deadly, and if we all stick together and cooperate, we can certainly try to beat it. That's it for the mayor. If anybody has any questions, I'll certainly try to answer them.
No, just a comment, Mayor. Just, again, I was able to make it for the cleanup due to my daughter doing remote learning. But thanks to Glenn for covering for me with 3 more people. So you
Thank
guys
you.
end up being better. Thank you.
Okay, City Clerk, Vicki Hackney. Good evening, Vic.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no items on the agenda this evening. I would like to bring to everyone's attention, we have, and I'll give Karen Kozurko with our office kudos for this, created a business application requirement book. So it's sort of like a go-to, what you need to do, the steps you need to go through. Very informative. If council wants copies, I do have copies available for each of you also. And they're available in the clerk's office for anyone that comes in. So whether it be a home business or regular business, that is available for them. And that's all I have for this evening.
Any questions of City Clerk? All right, thanks, Vic.
Thank you, Ray.
Moving on to our City Treasurer's report. Our Treasurer, Glenn Conklin. Good evening, Glenn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My apologies, I've got a typo on the report for our final date on the list of bills and the overtime payroll. That reads currently 10/22, which should read 10/11. With that in mind, I'd like to report regular and overtime payroll from September 28th, 2020 through October 11th, 2020, and the amount of $206,446.70. The only item I seek action on is I look for your approval on our list of bills, which in that same time period totals $368,165.11.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Sclair, seconded by Alderwoman Overland in regards to the list of bills. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Marco Cody Petro.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Barbara Scolaire.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. I'll answer any questions if I can.
Questions of City Treasurer? Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you and good night.
Unfinished business, we have nothing on the agenda. Anyone? New business? Anyone? Committee liaison reports. Anybody?
Yes. Excuse me. First, I would like to thank Clerk Hackney for all her help putting this together. Once again, for the second time in my life, I had a computer crash last year and I lost everything I had. So her and I had to go through and literally paper everything back together and redo a spreadsheet and put it all back together. And anybody who wants copies, I'll be happy to make them. But this is now the, I have one that shows everything for the picnic in and out, what we paid, what we got, what we were left with. And I have also, we've done another one which shows the checkbook ledger, in and out, in and out, in and out. And these are in color, but I don't think we have a color copier here. However, we'll be happy to make those. It ended up, the profit last year, because we didn't have one this year, after everything was paid, was $8,151.14. Since then, we have made a donation to the food pantry during the COVID to keep them going. And we will be doing the holiday lights, I presume, and the donations again this year. However, there is still confuse me. It's the 23, right, Vic?
Correct, yeah, at the,
The
yeah,
balance?
23.8. I don't know, I have the number in my head.
23,509.76, okay. So that's where it stands right now after the donation to the food pantry at 23,509.76. So anybody who wants copies of this or has questions, I would be happy to give them to you. It's kind of been the same for about the last 3 years, pretty similar. But it took a while to put this all back together again. We had to match up every receipt with every check, with every donation, with every this. But I do want to also thank my lovely son who, as a gift, bought me a new computer, so that was very kind of him. And I think that's it.
Anybody else with a committee or a liaison report? Next will be city council comments, positive city council comments, anything you'd like to share with any of your constituents. We'll begin with Ward 1 tonight, Alderman Burchett.
The only thing I wish that people wear a mask and keep the distance. Numbers are going up, we got to get them back down. Protect yourself and everyone else.
Alderman Dyke.
I just want everyone to have a safe Halloween and everybody have fun.
Ward 2, Alderman, or Alderwoman Sclair.
I just want to say congratulations to both Roger and Ron. You'll both do a great job, I know. And also I wanted to say thank you to Nick and Brian, who took me on a tour of the Public Works building last week. It was very informational, and I'm really glad that I was able to take the time to go and see what's going on down there. So thank you to both of you.
Alderwoman Gazal.
Congratulations, Roger and Ron. Welcome. And happy Halloween to everyone. Stay safe. And I see the bugle here, just for the record. I'm not behind this because it seems like I get blamed for everything in this city. I did not call you. I don't know you. You don't know me. Just for the record. Thank you, Mayor.
Ward 3, Alderwoman Overland.
Well, I want everyone to also have a happy and safe Halloween. And just in case you forgot, these lovely signs are available in the clerk's office where you can download them off the computer. If you want to participate in Halloween, it's kind of a nice thing. Children will see these in your window and they'll know it's a home that's participating. So I want to thank, once again, the city administrator. When I asked her if we could do this, she did it, and the clerk's office who printed them up. I think it's a great little thing, very little investment on the city's part, but just another thing for our community, and anything we can do for our community is always a great thing. And please wear your masks. I expect to see a lot of little surgeons and doctors at my door this year, so happy Halloween and welcome aboard.
Alderman Coley DiPietro.
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
Ward 4, Alderman Albert.
I also like to wish everybody a happy Halloween. If you get a chance to, check out some of the amazing displays around town. Like I mentioned at the last council meeting, there's a real nice display on Carlton Street right off the Gaylord, just south of the railroad tracks. There's quite a few displays. 3 houses lined up on Linwood Street near Grandview. They always do a very good job, and a couple on Root Street as well. I know everybody else has some throughout the city in their own wards, but they work hard on that, so give them a look-see and maybe a honk to show your support.
Nate, you got to go see the guy in Hess. He had something every day. It's unbelievable. It's so cute.
Alderman Kubal.
Mayor, I'd also like to welcome Roger to the Police Pension Board and Ron over here for engineering. Great to have both these gentlemen on board with all their wonderful experience. And a couple of weeks ago, you asked me what the Halloween shows are going to be Friday night at Hassert Park. The Park District's going to be showing Hocus Pocus will be the first movie. The second one, probably a little scarier, The Ring. And gates open at 5:15. Check with the Park District tomorrow if you want to go. I think it is $5 per carload.
And that's going to be up by Hassert Park?
Hassert Park.
Gray Block.
Right, on Redwood and Crest Hill.
Is that the Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler?
Oh, I was thinking it was the original.
That's a good movie.
That's it, Mayor.
Okay. Public comment. Anyone who'd like to address City Council, please step to the podium, state your name for the record. Your address is optional. Mark?
Actually, no. I'm not here, though.
for work today. Mark Gregory, you guys probably know where I live. And you guys do know, what I, a lot of guys don't know what I do for a living, the dissemination of information, which is where, I guess as a city, I kind of think it's odd that, with all the new technologies and everything out their hands, that, information isn't disseminated. Last week, we had the two incidents, shooting in Crest Hill and a shooting in a neighboring community. And this is actually nothing on the police department at all. As my job as a reporter, I called, chief, he got right back to me, perfect, all, great. That night, though, the other community next door to us had a press release out on their social media, on their everything, within 2.5 hours or so, letting the community know that, hey, this is an isolated incident. You're not at harm. There's nothing to do there. There's people out there talking. I was on the scene for 3 hours, 4 hours. There's people asking the officers out there. They were giving what information they could. But when, this isn't the day anymore of let's, wait till the 10 o'clock news or wait for the newspaper the next morning. People are going to make up information. I was told 25 times at least out there that there's at least one dead body out there. That was on social media. That was put out there. As a city, it would be nice to see something, put out there by the city in an official capacity, saying, hey, as residents, because where I'm at, I don't worry, deal with it too much. I actually saw from residents firsthand, they were scared, they were nervous, they didn't know what was going on. People were getting home from work, seeing all this, they didn't know. They're going to social media to find this out, and a lot of the information was wrong that they were getting because reports were. It just would have been nice for the city, and this isn't the first time that I see stuff in the city that's not there, and it quite frankly makes it look like the city's hiding something. We don't have crime in this city, or we don't whatever, and I don't know if that's true or not. The reasoning, but it just seems that that's the direction. And there's people out there who were scared and nervous and whatever, and they wanted to know something, information from the city, not from social media, not from anything else. I was doing what I could. The chief was busy. He got back to to the reporters as he could. We got the information out there. It would have been nice, and like if you guys saw this stuff from Romeoville, it wasn't any details. It was simply, we believe this is isolated. They didn't say anything other than this is what we think at this time, and just put people's mind at ease a little bit that, hey, here's what's going on, and here's some information, an official capacity from the city. So it'd just be nice to see that from the city, on Facebook, on city website, somewhere from official capacity. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, to our city administrator, Heather, is there a need for an executive session?
No, there is not, Mayor.
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion for an adjournment by Alderman Dyke, seconded by Alderman Verche. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Joe Kubal?
Yes.
Nate Albert?
Yes.
Marco Coley-Petro?
Yes.
Tina Oberlin?
Yes.
Claudia Gazal?
Yes.
Barbara Scoler?
Yes.
John Verche?
Yes.
Scott Dyke?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, meeting is adjourned at 7:53 PM. I thank you and good evening.
Look at mine.